David Stone is one of the best college football players in the nation.
You are Locked On Sooners, your daily podcast on the Oklahoma Sooners. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's up, Sooner Nation? Welcome to Locked On Sooners, and thank you for making Locked On Sooners your first listen every single day. Shout out to all the everydayers out there. He's Jay Smith of Unfair Sports. I'm John Williams of Sooners Wire. On today's show, we got your questions in our mailbag episode, but we're going to start here, Jay. We have the Locked On Top 100 College Football Players for 2026, and your guy, David Stone, comes in at number 17 in the nation.
A spot that I expected him to be at least in the top 20, which means the expectation he's going to be drafted pretty high this coming draft if he decides to declare, because he is only a junior. So technically he can come back. He ain't coming back out. I expect him to be in the league, but no, he got a good spot. But before I jump into really that, I want to tell you happy birthday, John. We didn't get to celebrate your birthday yesterday like I wanted to. We got so far into talking ball that completely slipped my mind. So happy birthday, John. Make sure you gotta get in the comments. Tell John happy birthday. He deserves a happy birthday. He's getting another year younger. Got that right. Benjamin Button thing going on right now. But no.
It's the soccer. It's the soccer.
It's the soccer. It's the soccer. That's why he's winded. He's showing his youthfulness out there. But I digress. But no, Stone getting that recognition is good. I mean, I had him, of course, high because similar to the NFL guys, they expect him to be gone within the top 15 picks next year. 17, that's a very fair spot for him. But yeah, Stone needs to go out there now and really show out this season.
Yeah, there's a lot of expectations, a lot of pressure being applied to the Stone. Are we going to get some diamonds out of our guy? And I think we will. I think he's going to have one of those seasons that is why everybody was so excited to get him at Oklahoma.
Oh, yeah.
He's going to be a great run defender. He's going to put pressure on the quarterback. He's going to come through with more sacks this year. He's going to do everything that you expect. I think every year he's risen to the occasion of the expectations. You know, as a true freshman, maybe he wanted to play more, but he understood there's a process in it all. Yep. As a sophomore, had that breakout season, really got on everybody's radar, and we saw the guy that we expected to see. Now it's just a matter of taking it to the next level, right? Developing and building on what he did a year ago. So I'm excited for him, man. I think this is going to be the year of David Stone on that defensive line, just absolutely wrecking shop, dominating on his way to being a top 10, top 15 pick. Saw him projected, I think, at number 15 by ESPN to the New York Jets. And hey, getting drafted in the first round is great. I just hope my guy can land somewhere other than the Jets, if possible.
Yeah, you know, the good thing about interior defensive linemen, it's always just about going out there and wrecking shop. And unfortunately for him, it's probably going to end up being like the Jets. I mean, the higher you get drafted, of course, the worse the team unfortunately will be. But the good thing for him is, though, I mean, as much as he's going to want to win, it ain't going to be on his back.
No.
It's like the quarterback is like, you feel the worst for them, especially because there's such a challenge in quarterback play, not only in the collegiate level, but really badly at the NFL. We're not developing quarterbacks like we used to.
Right.
It's hard.
Right.
And the defenses are so sophisticated, and it's not enough practices with the offensive line. Like, offensive lines aren't being together very long. So it's become more and more of a challenge. But for him, he needs to go out there and push people around. But this year, you know, we kind of talked about like our expectations of him. I don't see him getting a double-digit sack season because I just don't think that that's his role in the game nowadays. Pressures, I think he should maintain the number he had, if not higher. But I do think he needs to get more sacks this year just to really show that he is the pass rusher that we see him being capable of.
Yeah, it's hard to get sacks as a defensive tackle. If he has a 5 to 7 sack season, that's a really good season, especially because everybody's going to be focusing on him. Yeah. A lot of double teams, sometimes a lot of triple teams. Like, he is a guy that can completely mess up a play right off the snap. So they're going to be paying attention to him. Coming in at number 60, Taylor Wein, Jay.
I'm not going to lie. I'm a little surprised that he actually got some recognition on that, because a lot of these top 100 lists really is about name recognition.
Mm-hmm.
And I know Wine's becoming a household name. He's slowly getting there. More people are talking about him, especially at the national level, because of how he was able to come in and play as well as he did when R. Mason Thomas went down. I was a little surprised to see the name recognition there. I mean, enough people voted him up there to where he ended up at 60, which is a good spot. I honestly would have expected someone else to be at that spot, and we'll talk about that in a moment. But I am glad that he's getting that kind of recognition because he definitely deserves it.
Yeah, he's one of the best pass rushers in college football last year. I know a lot of folks thought, hey, R. Mason Thomas got a lot of the attention. He was the guy that everybody was focusing on. Taylor Wein's game rose to another level when R. Mason Thomas went down. Yeah. And so it's like, yes, R. Mason Thomas was a huge part of Taylor Wein's success when he was available, but it didn't slow down when R. Mason Thomas was out. So I think Taylor Wein getting some recognition on this is great because, again, 7-sack season. That's nothing to sniff at. And led Oklahoma in tackles for loss with 15. That is a great year.
Yeah.
And any other year in a Brent Venables defense, when a dude leads your team in sacks or tackles for loss, you're going to look at that guy and be like, that's a top 30 player in the college football.
Yeah. That's the name I need to keep my eyes out for.
Right. So credit to the Locked On, voters, Locked On college community, because we know ball. They had Taylor Wein in the top 60. So I think this is going to be a year where he takes his game to another level. If he has another 7, 8, 9 sack season, I think that is about where he lands. I mean, again, not all the pressure's on him. Oklahoma's got a lot of talent across the board on defense, but he is one of the better college football players in the country. And again, I make this comparison. It's like, from a production standpoint, he's right up there with a lot of these top DNs. So he needs to get that recognition. All right, and then coming in at number 80, quarterback John Mateer.
That's the one I thought was going to be higher. He's got all the name recognition, and we all know he put up 2,800 yards passing with, a messed up thumb after thumb surgery. So he still had a solid season as a first year in the SEC, especially with all circumstances happening. Still ran for over 400 yards in the season. He needs to get his touchdowns up, but he put the yards out there and he put some numbers up. To have a messed up thumb, that's still pretty remarkable. And so I figured he would have been a little bit higher just because of the name recognition, but the fact that he is top 100 is still a good sign. It's a good sign that he's done enough to where people are like, all right, I think he probably is good enough. Maybe he needs to get better in some aspects, but shoot, like I said, the fact that he was good enough for people to recognize him at the top 100, that's a plus.
Well, enough people understand context that gave him his flowers, while other people, all they maybe looked at was the box score. And that's understandable. There's a lot of names to look at, a lot of players to vote on.
To consider.
Yeah. But he is one of college football's best players, even when things aren't 100% right, because he did help Oklahoma get to the playoff. Real quickly, let's look at the college football top 10 here as voted on by our Locked On college football hosts. Jeremiah Smith comes in at number 1 for the second year in a row, Jay.
Yeah, sounds about right. He's considered the best player in the country, and he's a difference maker. Now, let's see if he makes the difference for Ohio State this season. But he also had a more veteran quarterback, so that should actually help as well. So, yeah, let's see what it looks like. But I think I was more surprised with Colin Simmons and landing at 2 over Leonard Moore, who Moore is a beast. I think that I thought that he was going to end up being the number 2 guy, if not a fight for the top number 1 spot this year with Jeremiah Smith. But Colin Simmons being up there is a little shocker.
Yeah, I mean, I had Colin Simmons in my top 5. I think I might have had him at number 3 and Leonard Moore at 2. And then I actually had Trinidad Chambliss in my top 5 ahead of Dante Moore. I think that's a little bit of a surprise. No, it's just a few spots different. Cam Coleman coming in at number 7. So to round out the top 10, you got Smith at 1, Simmons at 2, Leonard Moore, the cornerback from Notre Dame, at number 3, Dante Moore, the quarterback from Oregon, at number 4, Malachi Toney at number 5. Actually, that's who I had at number 2 was Malachi Toney, and then Colin Simmons at 3. I think Malachi Toney is an incredible talent. Trinidad Chambliss at number 6, Cam Coleman 7, Kejuan Lacey, the running back from Ole Miss, at number 8, and then Arch Manning, quarterback Texas, at number 9. Dylan Stewart, edge, South Carolina. The Arch Manning thing, that's where you talk about name recognition, Jay.
Yeah, and that's him being number 9 is a lot more of a surprise to me. I figure more people tried to put him up, but at the same time, I know that everyone outside of Texas is like, I don't know about Arch yet.
Yeah, but that means he got a lot of top 10 votes, though, to be able to land in that spot.
The top 10 makes sense. I think he's talented. He just needs to go.
Does it?
It does. It does. It does.
He,
I need to see him execute more, but I actually believe he's a top 10 talent in college football.
when he's playing Mississippi State or when he's playing
SEC teams, yeah, I agree.
Not named Georgia.
I think everybody struggles against Georgia.
Okay, but he hasn't had a good... I don't think he's had a good game against a good team other than game managing against Oklahoma.
Okay.
All right. That's all I'm going to get. No fight back on that one. Okay. Fair.
There's no way I could convince anybody anything on that. I've learned my lesson on the arguments.
I think the talent is high, but I just haven't seen him do it at a high enough level to be considered in the same breath as Dante Moore and Trinidad Chambliss.
I think the numbers show it, but I agree. I mean, I can get you there.
But they've been successful in the playoff. Arch has not.
I don't know if that's really on Arch fully, but yeah.
Part of it is
first.
Because he lost to Florida. I mean, he was part of a team that lost to Florida, part of a team that went to overtime against Kentucky, only scored, 16 points against Kentucky?
I think they fired the defensive coordinator because of that Florida game, so I could totally understand that too. They let DJ Lagway, of all people, eat them up.
Yeah, and that's going to be fun to watch at Baylor this year. All right, coming up next, we got your mailbag questions. Is this the year Oklahoma breaks a trend? Lorenco is known for its enamel-supporting gum, but now they are launching a nicotine-free pouch. Lorenco pouches are designed to provide clean focus while supporting enamel at the same time. Each pouch contains 50 milligrams of caffeine plus L-theanine and alpha GPC for smooth, steady focus without an energy crash. And because it's a Lorene product, every pouch also contains nanohydroxyapatite, the mineral teeth are made of, to provide daily enamel support between brushings. Lorenco pouches are pouches that swap out the nicotine and give you clean focus and support your enamel the whole time they're in. They come in mint, cinnamon, and mango, making it easy to find a flavor that fits into any daily routine. Give Lorene a try. Right now, Lorenco is offering our listeners up to 50% off at buylorene.com/lockedoncollege. That's buylorene, BUYLARINE.com/lockedoncollege for 50% off. Support for today's show comes from Wayfair. Whether you're refreshing one room, getting ready for a new season, or finally replacing that piece of furniture you've been putting off, Wayfair makes it easy to find something that fits your home, your style, and your budget. You can shop furniture and decor across a wide range of price points with quality materials and prices or pieces designed to stand up to real life. And with Wayfair verified product specialists, hand vet select products through a 10-point quality inspection, looking at things like materials, functionality, features, and even how long they take to build. And if you're still trying to narrow down what to buy, Wayfair gives you plenty of real shopper feedback to work with. You can browse more than 20 million verified 5-star reviews, along with real customer photos and feedback to help you shop with more confidence. My wife and I right now, we're trying to get ready for fall. We're trying to get our backyard area in order, because after the summer and the kids have been outside and they're just spraying the water hose everywhere, some of our stuff, it may not last and hold up as well. But we're going to Wayfair. We're looking for some bedside tables as well. And Wayfair has so many options to look at with great quality as well as style. So join Wayfair Rewards today to get 5% off on every purchase, or 5% back on every purchase, and start saving on your next home upgrade. Head to wayfair.com to shop all things home. That's WAYFAIR.com. Wayfair, every style, every home. And thanks again for making Locked On Sooners your first listen every single day. Shout out to all the everydayers out there. If you want more Locked On Sooners with no ads, go check out the Everydayer Club at lockedonsooners.supercast.com. $5 a month gets you ad-free audio. It also gets you an invite to the members-only Discord, where we feature your questions here in the Everydayer Club mailbag episode. And we talk about everything that's going on with Oklahoma Sooners, whether it's football, basketball, softball will be coming around in the spring, Jay. We're having a good time in there.
Yeah, we got 1 week away from football, guys. 1 week away.
7 days. Let's go.
Only 7
All right.
days.
First question comes from the daughter of one of our Everyday Club listeners. Comes from Charlotte, the daughter of Jordan. She said, first of all, she said, since my dad makes me listen to you every day in the car, you've become our favorite Oklahoma podcast to listen to. Thanks, Charlotte. Appreciate that. She asks, is this the year OU has a 1,000-yard receiver and rusher? Also, what's up with Tory Blaylock at running back?
Ooh, so I actually think this could be the year we could do it. This is probably one of the let me say it this way. I don't think this is the best year that we could get it done, mainly because we're still trying to decide who the bell cow is going to be. I think there's going to be a bigger rotation. So I think it's a possibility that someone shines and becomes the top back and gets us to 1,000. We may have a couple of running backs that get close. I do think we end up closer to 700 from a couple of running backs in comparison to one really getting over 1,000. But yeah, but I do think we can get a 1,000-yard receiver this year. I think this is actually the year where a Sategna can surpass that number, or even a Terrell Harris can actually get over it. I mean, it was right there at the number. Like, Sategna was right there knocking on the door, but I think it'd be close. But with Tory, he's dealing with a hamstring situation. Hamstrings are one of those that flare up whenever it feels like it. It's not something you can control. So for him, unfortunately, he is just waiting on his body to allow him to be able to go full speed on a consistent basis. That's what's going on with Tory.
Yeah. And when he's back, he'll be ready to explode, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Give me Isaiah Sategna for a 1,000-yard receiver this season, because he doesn't need, 80 catches to get there. If he has a 50, 55, 60 catch season, he could certainly get to 1,000 yards. Because what did he average last year? Was it like 15 yards per reception?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he had a ton. He probably could have had more big plays, big long touchdown catches, but we very much played in the just managed the game mode for much of the second half of the season. So
yeah,
give me Isaiah Sategna to do that. I think if anybody does it, it's going to be Xavier Robinson getting 1,000 yards. I just want to see the guy healthy. If he's healthy all year, I think he can very, very, not easily, but very much get that 1,000-yard rushing season. Thanks for the question there, Charlotte. And this one comes from Marshall Jenkins on YouTube. How many points will Boomer Sooner average per game on the way to Atlanta? Boomer.
Man, Sooner. So, last year we were like 20 something per game. I think 26 is what
26.
Yeah, we think it was like 26.2 is what we were at last year. So in that case, healthy quarterback, tight ends, we could get closer to 30 per game next season. That should be actually a lot easier. I think we can go a 5-point bump, especially having the tight ends and their ability to help in the blocking, in the run game. That to me is going to be where your game changer comes in. That tight end room should be able to completely change everything you do in your run game. I think the line will be fine. It's going to be another year of them together and improving and gelling. We've seen that happen here before. But truthfully, just the inability to block at tight end was a big challenge last year. And I think that we should see a massive improvement this year.
Georgia made the SEC championship game in 2024, averaging 31.5 points per game. In 2025, 32.1 points per game. If we get to about there, we make the SEC title game.
Yep.
Because our defense is going to hold teams on average to around 17 or less.
Yeah.
Conservatively speaking, on average, that's what our points per game is going to look like. Now, not the best stat necessarily to look at success always, because Oklahoma could go put up 70 points against UTEP or, 50 against New Mexico and then be held to 20 against Georgia. And then we're like, okay, well, what's the offense really? Who knows? But I think if they can get to 30, 32 points per game on average, they're going to be a 11-win team.
Yeah.
And have a chance to go win a conference championship this year.
Easily.
All right, coming up, we got several more questions for the mailbag episode, including one about the offensive line, because that is a hot topic right now. We'll do that next here on Locked On Sooners.
If you got a sweet tooth like I do, you know how tough it is to find that perfect treat without all that sugar. And that's why cotton candy 5-hour energy shots bring that nostalgic flavor back with a whole new way. This is a classic cotton candy taste you remember, but with a tasty caffeine boost and zero sugar. It's quick, easy way to satisfy that sweet craving that you typically have and keeps it simple while you're on the go. I've always been a big fan of cotton candy. I've talked about it here on numerous occasions. Whenever I go to my Thunder games or I go to the fair, it's the first thing I do. Go grab myself some cotton candy. But can't be eating sweets all day, man. These teeth don't look as pretty as they do by eating a whole bunch of sugar all the time. The flavor itself, great throwback. One of my favorites out there. Gives you that nice fruity vanilla vibe, and it's actually really, really, really smooth. So bring on the sweetness with cotton candy 5-hour energy shots, available online at 5hourenergy.com or at Amazon.
And again, thanks for making Locked On Sooners your first listen every single day. Shout out to all the everydayers out there tuning in and subscribe to the show wherever you get your podcast. Next question comes from Nate Scott on YouTube. He asks, assuming Michaela gets back healthy and Noah Best proves to be one of the best 5 by season's end, I mean, he might already be right now. Yeah. Who's the best man at right tackle? Amarion Harris.
It's Amarion.
Mm-hmm. Amarion. Thank you for the clarification there on the Oklahoma social media accounts. I don't know if y'all caught that, but that was great. So is it Amarion Harris or Ryan Foje?
I think it's Foje. I think what Harris gives you is a ton of experience. I mean, 20-something games starting in the SEC. So he's battled against some of the top edges out there. And so he knows the spot. I think Foje has the highest upside. And I think by the end of the season, he's going to end up being your guy that leads the way at right tackle. To me, I think he's going to end up being it, because especially if you're trying to find a way to get Noah Best out there and play your best 5, pun intended there this time, you definitely want to make sure that your Foje to me is one of your best 5. And I think he's the one that's going to end up playing. Now, I've had someone mention to me before that he thought somebody else may end up getting pushed out of their spot for Noah Best. And I thought it was a very interesting concept. I'll talk about that in just a minute.
Yeah, so I think Ryan Foje is one of your best 5, but I also think that Amarion Harris's experience is really valuable as well. And the durability is important. So if you've got a guy that has played 1,600 snaps over the last 2 years, started every game, been available, and you can say, hey, we know Amarion is going to be there at right tackle every single game, every single week. Maybe the ceiling isn't as high, but we have a really solid floor with him at right tackle. That gives me more flexibility to have Ryan Foje available to play anywhere else along the offensive line that I need him to play.
Yeah, true. I mean, I think you still get that even with Foje at the right.
I just don't know if you want to shuffle again if you have to do that. You know what I'm saying?
No, I get you on that. That's the unfortunate thing is Bo likes to shuffle.
He does.
He will tinker and move things around because he wants the best for especially for situations, and he wants the person that's going to provide the best versatility regardless. And so I could still see them shuffling him and asking him to play multiple spots, in which he's already has. I mean, supposedly he was playing center at practice.
Swiss Army knife, Ryan
and he was doing it all. And to me, that's huge on him being willing to learn all of those spots. Yep. But it also is going to make him way more valuable in the draft because, I mean, teams like a guy that they can move around in emergency situations because offensive linemen get hurt. That's how football works, unfortunately.
And you're limited on roster spots in the NFL.
Exactly.
Where you might carry 9 offensive linemen as opposed to however many they carry in college. So having a guy that can play 3 offensive line, like all 3 positions along the offensive line, tackle, guard, center, dude, that's incredibly valuable for a guy who's probably already going to be a top 50 pick just based on his potential alone. I think even if he's not your starting right tackle by the season's end, he gets a lot of snaps and he does get a number of starts at different spots throughout the year. Yeah. And he's your starting right tackle in 2027. Next question here comes from our guy Rockin' B Farms. He says, if we make the playoffs with this schedule, do you see Brent Venables finally getting a national award as a head coach?
If we make the SEC championship game, he gets coach of the year. That to me is your indicator. That means
Yeah.
that he finished the season 11-1 in one of the toughest conferences in the country, one of the toughest schedules in the country. That to me that's national award worthy. And like Clark Lee has gotten it 2 years in a row, especially for the SEC, and one national one because he was able to take a team that, quite frankly, has been a middle of the ground to selling dweller for years. He got him to a bowl game and he got him to a 10-win season in a regular season for the first time in program history. I mean, pulling similar to what Kurt Signetti did there at Indiana. And so in that case, yeah, I think that BV getting to the SEC championship game within his first 3 years, yeah, that's going to be, that's coach of the year honors there for a program that people claim cannot do it.
And a lot of times with these kind of national awards, you see a coach or a player have a lot of success one year, start to build up that name recognition, show the value, but then it's the second year that they have that success that everybody's like, oh yeah, Brent Venables is a really good coach. Let's vote for him for National Coach of the Year. Will he win it? We'll see. But I think he's certainly going to have a lot to say about that award because Oklahoma is going to have a lot of success this year. If they do reach the SEC title game or go win it, that's going to speak volumes to a lot of the national voters. I think coaches have a lot of respect for him. The second part to this question, which we didn't include, was the which one would it be? And I think the one that would be most likely would be the one that's voted on by coaches because they have a lot of respect for Brent Venables and what he's built and what he's building at Oklahoma. Whereas maybe the media hasn't quite gotten on board just yet. And maybe fans haven't quite gotten on board just yet. The coaches certainly know what Brent Venables brings to the table. You wanted to make a point about Noah Best. Let's get back to that real quick.
Yeah, I had someone mention it. They wondered if your top 5 offensive linemen would be Fasusi, Best, Michaela, Fogier, and Harris, which I thought was pretty interesting.
It's interesting.
And I think it's more of a technique type thing, which I could see it. I still have EPL as my left guard. I think that him and Fasusi work very well together on that side of the field. So I take them as a tandem just because of that. But talent-wise, they believe Best may have supplanted EPL as well.
He might be the best guard on the roster, and that's okay. I'm still not taking EPL out of the lineup.
Yeah.
Because part of what makes him so valuable and good is the mentality that he brings to the table. He's not just looking to block you. He's looking to punish you.
Yeah.
You need some edge along your offensive line. Need a little bit of crazy along your offensive line. We've seen Eddie Pierre-Louis go in and try to really punish folks. So Noah Best technically might be better than Fogier or Eddie Pierre-Louis along the offensive line. Might. I don't know. I don't get to see these guys in practice. I've not got to see the film. I know a guy like Gabe Eichert wants Eddie Pierre-Louis to continue to improve that technical aspect stuff, and I'll trust his word on that. I still want Eddie Pierre-Louis' mentality on the football field.
Yeah.
Every single Saturday.
Agreed.
I don't care.
Run through somebody's face. I'm here for that.
I don't care if it doesn't look technically right all the time. I just want him out there to run the football behind because that to me is as important as some of these other things. All right. Last question here. This one has been sitting in our mailbox for a long time, and we got to get to it with the season opener just a week away. This one comes from KTM on YouTube. Unrelated sports question. I'm making the season opener my first Sooners game. That's awesome. That is awesome. If you see me out there, make sure you come say hi. It'll be a lot of fun. Never been to Oklahoma. What are some places I should try or visit? Also, how's the weather? I'm from Florida.
Okay. Coming from Florida, it's going to be really hot. You'll be used to the humidity, but it's going to be one of those potential scorchers. It'll be the 90s. Won't be rainy. But it'll still be humid just because that's how Oklahoma likes to treat all of us. Hopefully it's not as hopefully we don't get much rain before the game. Like I don't think we get anything end of the week, but Campus Corner, get out there, go check out all the little shops and stuff just north of campus. There's a lot of places over there. The Noun is a very popular place to hang out on the Thursday night before the game. It's usually Friday night before the game, but it's Thursday this time because people coming in early. The Noun is really good, a hotel to go check out. You'll see a bunch of alum there. They've got some little restaurant there that's a pretty cool spot to hang out at. But yeah, I say over to Campus Corner, go just roam around there and then walk around campus and enjoy being in Norman.
Yeah, one of my wife's favorites from when she was in college, a long time ago, Ted's Cafe and Escondido, Mexican restaurant. Pretty good. There's a lot of great restaurants in Norman. I know
a lot of great restaurants.
You can find like top restaurants in Norman. I think it's going to be a fun time. Everybody's really excited, and there's a lot of anticipation building for this season. So if you get out there for tailgates, I think you're going to just be a part of a nice little buzz that is being created about Oklahoma in Norman. Even though it's going to be a Friday, I know like we're taking our kids out of school, sorry teachers, and we're going to get to Norman early. My daughter, she loves books, she loves to read. So we're going to take her to the library and go check that out. That's one of my wife's favorite places to visit every time that we go, because my wife's a big reader, loves going inside the library. It takes her back also to her time in college there and just the time spent on campus and in the library. So a lot of really pretty sights on campus. It's just a really nice looking campus. And again, weather-wise, I think you'll probably be okay, actually. Even though it's going to be over 100 that day, the forecast looks like the humidity won't be quite like what you've experienced in Florida. It's just not the same. As humid as it gets in Oklahoma, Florida is just on another level. So at least in my experience, it's been a minute since I've been to Florida. Actually, no, I was just in Florida in Tampa for SEC
you were
Media
in
Days.
Tampa. Yeah, I was in Florida and here in August. It was gross.
Yeah,
but it's also just as gross as it was here. Here is a lot hotter. Like the heat is a lot heatier. When I was
the
out
sun
there
feels
in Florida,
stronger. Is
Yes.
that weird? The sun feels stronger.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is.
So if you need sunscreen, make sure you have it. If you got a good hat, wear your hat.
Wear a hat.
Wear a hat.
I highly recommend wearing a hat, especially walking around campus. Wear a hat. There's enough trees, but still wear a hat.
That's right. All right, that's going to do it for today's episode of Locked On Sooners. Thanks so much for tuning in, being a part of the show. Subscribe to the show wherever you get your podcasts. We're free and available on all podcast platforms and on YouTube. So hit that subscribe button. About 43 subscribers on YouTube away from hitting 18,000. We know you can get us 33. There. So 33
right there. 33 right there.
Awesome. That's fantastic. Cannot wait to see us hit that 18. So thank you so much for being a part of that. And also to our Facebook followers, thank you for getting us to 10,000 followers on Facebook. That's incredibly huge. We appreciate you all. Huge. X followers, you gotta step up. You gotta start hitting that follow button a little bit more and get us to catch up to the Facebook group. And our Instagram people, where you at? We got to get more followers over on Instagram. So follow the show wherever you like to do your social media stuff. We're available on all your favorite social media platforms. Make sure you go follow Jay at Unfair Sports. Go check out his channel, Unfair Sports, over on YouTube. You can follow me at John9Williams and read my work covering the Sooners over at SoonersWire.com. The show is at Locked On Sooners, again, on all your favorite social media platforms. But until next time, he's Jay Smith. I'm John Williams. We'll talk to you then. Boomer.
Sooner.